time. We have Hitesh joining us, founder CEO at Trendtech Consultants. Hitesh, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on the show. Let's bring in our first caller. We have Subhajit Day, who joins us from West Bengal. Subhajit, hi, good afternoon. Ask your question.
Yeah, good afternoon. I have 50 LIC housing finance by at 240. So I can hold up to 1 year. Can I expect 25 to 30% return? And the price is going down. So what should I do? Should I stay with LIC housing finance or stick to any other strong counter like HDFC Limited?
Faiza, how is the risk reward? Hitesh, a quick comment from you on LIC housing. Is it a safe investment? Can the investors stay put on this particular stock for the next 12 months?
Actually, I would think so, because LIC housing, the worst seems to be over for this counter. The charts are looking good now. It's been making a pattern of higher tops and higher bottoms. 240 is obviously the immediate resistance, but I think that should be broken, taken out, and from there on, we should see a 20-25% return in the next 3 to 6 months. So I'm fairly bullish on this counter. I think the worst is over, and the charts are fairly bullish right now.
Okay, let's bring in our next query. It's an SMS that we have on Reliance Power. We have the SMS from Khwaja, who is writing to us from Andhra Pradesh, holds 200 shares of Reliance Power, purchased at 170, and his question is it a safe investment? But his timeline is only 3 to 6 months. That's the maximum he wants to commit to Reliance Power. Faiza, is it adequate or perhaps not so, because the kind of projects that they have lined up, the gestation projects, the gestation period of projects, particularly in the thermal space, tends to be very, very long. So I believe there will be still some time before the projects come on board, which will add earnings visibility. Do you think 6 months would not be enough? Perhaps 12 to 18 months should be the minimum time that he should commit?
Well, before I...
Sir, good afternoon. Go ahead, ask your question.
Hello, good afternoon. I have 30 shares of Tata Motors TV, and I want to know, if I should actually add more, because I bought them at a price of over 600, or an average price of over 600. And I want to know if I should add more, or I should sell off and shift to some other stock like Tata Motors regular shares.
Okay, Faiza, what about Tata Motors? First, the argument whether DVR makes sense or the actual stock. Secondly, are the valuations perhaps not so conducive right now, because interest rates, input cost, and the fact is that majority of contribution comes in from JLR now. So any concern on JLR would directly impact the stock. So in this uncertain time, how would you rate Tata Motors currently?
The DVR long-term charts are still bearish. It's making a pattern of lower tops and bottoms. I wouldn't get bullish on this till it starts making a pattern of higher tops and higher bottoms. I would wait for that. In the outer space, Tata Motors is fine, but in the current, if you're looking at buying something now, as in today, I like M&M and Bajaj Auto a lot more. So if you're looking at getting some more exposure in the outer space, M&M in particular is looking strong. And if you're actually looking at exiting Tata Motors DVR, which is my recommendation, I would suggest you put your money into pharma or FMCG now, because these are two sectors which are trending very well in this environment. And in pharma, you could look at something like Biocon or Sun Pharma to get excellent returns in the next 3 to 6 months.
Okay, we'll take a break now. We'll come back. Chat more. Joining us from Karnataka, Mr. Bhatt. Good afternoon, sir. Go ahead, ask your question.
Yeah, good afternoon, and thank you for NDTV. Yeah, I am holding some 1,000 shares of Bartronics India. So, bought some 3 years back at around 240 with average price, and also holding around 500 shares of Esam Railroad. So, that is also bought at a very high price, 280, and I don't know the future purpose of this. Can please advise and help me? I can hold for another 1 or 2 years, no problem.
Okay. Hitesh, first to you, Bartronics, what is the way out for the investor from this stock?
Right, Bartronics has been bearish since 2009, and it didn't participate in the rally in 2010 where the market was rallying. So obviously something is wrong with this counter. Currently it's been building a base between 57 and 71. So I would get bullish if we break out of this broader range that we have formed. Once it breaks out above 71, 72, that's the point in time when I would actually look at buying into this counter. Till then we do not know whether it will continue building a base for how long, whether it will break down from this base or break out. So we need to be very patient about that. Obviously the investor has lost a lot of money, so all he could do is be be patient and wait and see if there is a breakout. If there is a breakout, then the stock would start trending again and he could recover his lost money.
Faisal, what's your fundamental take on Bartronics? That's from Chennai. Dipankar, hi. Good afternoon. What's your question?
Hi. I would like to understand whether it is the right time for me to invest in City Union Bank at the current price. And I'm a long-term investor. So is it the right time for me to invest in this particular stock?
Two things, Dipankar. First, do you invest in the markets regularly? Do you have any other bank stocks in your portfolio?
Well, I have been investing in stocks through the mutual fund route. I do not invest in direct equities, but I would like to make a beginning and I would like to see if I can look at the stock from a long-term perspective.
And how long would that be? Are you willing to commit a year, more than that also?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Faisal, what should the investor do? Is City Union Bank a good City Union Bank?
Right, if you look at the charts of City Union Bank, they are bullish now. You could keep 41 as a stop loss and buy with a good uptrend, very much possible in the counter. And with regards to comments of questions on entering the stock market directly, I would agree with what was being said so far. Try and build a diversified portfolio and across sectors, don't focus on only one sector. And if you're looking at banking, maybe you could look at some of the large cap names rather than go down to a smaller name. So that's my advice on that.
Okay, Hitesh and Faisal, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for your time. Great to have you with us. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.